How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. The winter arc has begun. The trees are dying. The sunlight is fleeting. The warmth is going. It's getting pretty cold. It's getting pretty chilly. Now, I find leading up to winter and during winter, I start to get a little bit sick. I start to get a little bit lethargic, maybe melancholic, maybe a little bit unmotivated. You know, lack of sun breeds complacency. But at the same time, I like to view going into the winter almost as a bear would. Not only physically going bear mode, you know, bulking up and all that, but I think of it almost spiritually too. Like it's almost a state, a time of introspection, a time where it's acceptable to go into the cave and to study and reflect upon the year. I know I made a video last year saying winter's beautiful and winter's all this, trying to glorify winter, but I feel like that was me simply compensating for how much I actually really dislike winter, for the effects it has on the psyche and the soul. I feel like I was born for the sun, but I'm trapped in a Canadian's body. So I must deal with this winter. And how I do that is simply just getting gritty with it. Just getting a little bit gritty and grimy. You know, those gym sessions, they're gonna be brutal. They're gonna suck. I'm gonna wanna bang my head off the wall a few times probably throughout the winter. But it's all good. It builds character, it builds strength. And there was a study that I've heard of where people who are in the more northern climates where they get the 4 seasons right, their mental health is actually better than somebody who say lives in an environment that doesn't change, where the seasons don't change, like think Australia or Italy or something like that. And the reason being is that because their psyches are so adapted to change, that when things get rough, when things get cold and depressing, they know, just like the seasons, that this too will change. Like their psyche's adapted to that, whereas somebody who lives in like a warm climate all year round doesn't see change much. When they get in a rut, their psyche is adapted for like ever. They just think it's gonna last forever. Think of somebody that lives in the desert. Okay, you know, you live in the desert, it's almost like time stretches to infinity. That's like a saying. It's like time just goes on forever. There's no change. So it's like the time draws out in the desert. Whereas a place like Canada or the northern countries, the seasons change every 3 to 4 months. Every 3 months. So we get used to the rise, we get used to the fall. It all comes full circle. And that's actually how I view life. Like I said, I view life in these cycles. I view life in rises and falls. And I feel like that's due to dealing with the winters. I feel like that's just how I've been able to cope with the harsh, brutal winters, is by viewing life in cycles and realizing, okay, it sucks right now. It's really cold, but it's gonna be warm again. And I've seen this cycle repeat itself consciously about 10 times already. So I don't have to worry. It's all good. With that being said, we are creatures of adaptation. We are creatures that are built to adapt. And the strongest of us are the ones that are able to deal with the most change, the most adaptation. And I view this part of life, the winter, of course, as just another test, as just another hardening of the spirit, building of the character, a stage of introspection. time to reflect. The snow isn't even out yet, and I'm already getting the effects of winter. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a fun one. But yeah, man, something about the Canadian winters are extra shrill. They're extra icy. I spent some time in Scotland, in Switzerland, in Italy during the winters, and sure, it got a little bit chilly, but man, it doesn't compare to Canada. Like, something about the air, it's ice cold. It shatters the bones, if you will. It pierces the spirit and lights it anew. It really is another type of cold. I know it was a bit of a ramble, but I feel like they're more genuine. I feel like the more rambly it is, the more true to heart it is, and that's what matters most. So yeah, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Do take care, and until next time.